Boss Rush 500 day 1, but this time we're going to try to beat it without relying on Medivh's Bird Buddy treasure. And this was thanks to a comment on the subreddit from Prince Zardos that alerted me to Ashara's third equipment here, which will steal health from all characters in play and may be able to finish off Ahune once you've reduced Ahune's health with all realities from Malchezaar here. So we're going to go ahead and get into the bounty. And this is the same strategy as the other video for day 1 that I've already posted, so if you want to see the full explanation and how that went, you can go check that other video out as well. But we're just doing this variant to see if we can avoid needing the Bird Buddy. This does make it so that we had to run only a single artillery mercenary. This should be an okay roll. So getting more nature would have been great, but we got no health on this green delinquent, which is the most important thing. We also got no attack on this red, which is great. It would have been nice to have no attack on the blue. Would have been nice to have a lower shadow roll or a no fell roll, but we'll see what we can do with this. It's party crashing, 74. So we probably have to taunt Bwonsamdi because of this big attack value. And then we don't have a bird out yet, so we have an extra board slot to work with for the moment. So we'll go here. And we'd like to use frost damage with Balinda on this fight because it makes her red, and then you get to crit this delinquent a lot more frequently. Now this delinquent does turn itself blue sometimes, but the alternative means that you're acting at 3 speed and tying their 3 speed abilities, which is problematic for the counter ward. And you also don't get to crit her anyways if you go blue with speed, so we're gonna position like this because we want Bwonsamdi and the Arcane Ward opposing the Dirty Tricks, and we want Balinda left of Medivh so we get another Water Elemental rather than another Arcane Ward. Is using Dirty Tricks, so we're probably going for a bounce. That dies. We do want this. We don't have to bounce. We can let this be countered and just act slower. I'm going to choose that option because of our board space limitations. So if we do that, that gets countered, this gets frozen. And we get a bird out. It's all great stuff. And then Bwonsamdi will be opposing this, so if he Dirty Tricks again, I do a bounce and immune it. We do lose a freeze here that we're not resetting, but I can live with that. And it's also fine if a Dirty Tricks has to hit Medivh. It'd be better if we don't have to make him tank anything, but he usually doesn't take damage during the fight. We do have to protect him though, so we can't let him be crit. So this is going to be caster. If he goes to red, so he doesn't ever go to red, so we'll be fine on that. Okay, so definitely countering. Okay, so we do have to worry about the red because what he likes to do is turn something red that it'll then cause that to die. So he'll probably turn one of these guys red and then try to crit us for 300-ish. Let's tank with that. We're gonna want to bounce, and I believe we have to taunt here because of that possibility. And if he changes like Bwonsamdi instead or shoots Balinda, then that would be fine. That'd be preferred. Okay, he tried to change the Arcane Ward, which I am perfectly fine with. So we are going to lose a respawn on our water Ellie here, but that's fine. want to protect the bird. We want to protect the Medivh. We're putting them on the edges. And I think we just go like this. I'm actually going to go here. We might want to not do a bounce and let a hit go off. And then these guys are the best ones to take that hit. Okay, she's using the ability. We're going to lose that Ellie no matter what this turn. So we're going to want to bounce then. Some frost damage, and then can't gain health here. It's gonna, he's too big. So we just get damage. And usually health on your water elemental is all you're worried about. So it's, if you're throwing it away and getting a new one, you don't need to put health on anything else. Now we need to more heavily favor dealing damage with Medivh as well, because that ad is getting low. Finish it off.
Do you take me for an ordinary maid? Into oblivion! You've got to spend some time with old Bwonsamdi.
Okay, so we're getting a new elemental this turn, so I don't want to expose the elemental. Do I want to protect this ward more? Say Medivh? I think yes, at this point. Medivh must live though, so I have to be careful. But he should be able to take a hit if we do. So, how much damage is 40, 400, crit it. So a betrayal, potentially kill our arcane ward. Always gonna counter this turn. Cannot bounce. I need this arcane ward to. So I think we have to health buff it. Or we could freeze. I like that. So we lose like 46 hit points on our elemental if we freeze. Gain 64 damage. And we're going to have a bounce next turn anyway, so we don't care about the elemental. It also prevents some other weird hits. We're not worried about getting frozen. It would prevent... So, like, he could betrayal this elemental, and then it would freeze Bwonsamdi before he acted. Another advantage. This play. Okay, so we got pretty easy outcome here. So this will get countered. This we can freeze. And then... So we probably have to bounce, because we're going to lose our elemental here. Because if we tried to save it, then we wouldn't be able to counter anymore, since Mage Guard's the same speed as this. So in this case, I think we get double freeze. Oh no, we can't double freeze. So that means we're back to taunting Bwonsamdi. Back there. That takes care of this. Goes into Bwonsamdi. This gets frozen. This will be fine.
Job's done.
As you can see, if this guy didn't have this attack buff, there are several of these turns that I would have been able to get double or triple freezes off. So we want a new water elemental, so Balinda has to be left of Medivh again. So we'll put her
Do you take
here.
me for an ordinary mage? Reality bends to my will.
And actually we don't care about positioning anymore, because our Dirty Tricks guy is gone. So this should be fine.
Actually, I'm good here.
Okay, so we'll just act slow. And this is where Flame Dart wouldn't be able to be cast. Unless you countered, so. Just go for damage. That be countered. Okay, so he's using both of the dangerous attacks. We need to freeze that. We can just kill him. So that would hit. He would become a fighter and hit Balinda. 160. I am perfectly fine with that. So he gets frozen. And then we're just going to do as much damage as we can here.
Job's done.
And we are going no freeze this next turn, which could be problematic. So it's not risk-free. Or no, it is risk-free because we finished him off. Okay, great. So now we just act slow. And then we just need to kill our guys off here, Balinda and Bwonsamdi. So there's Balinda. Bwonsamdi. Just for good measure. I had to do the nuke on him first, so it got the crit. Otherwise, shooting your own guy will waste the crit. No, it does not cause it to crit. We'll bring these guys out. You can also all realities here. Just be careful with how you do it, because the attack that all realities activates on will happen. Let's finish him off. And now we just hit artillery strike, and then we can win. So I'm going to take Bird Buddy because it's the right one to take. But we're not going to use it. So we hit. So we win. So now instead of utilizing making him spawn ice shards and utilizing that damage from an ice shard dying to finish off the boss, we're gonna completely circumvent everything that the boss does and kill him with Azshara's Death Rattle instead. So we'll get an all realities off, and then we'll kill our Ashara, and then we win. As long as one thing on the board is surviving. Which I guess means we don't need Rogers in play. I'll put Rogers in play anyways. Let's see, let me think for a second if this matters. So 193 is our damage from Ice Storm if that comes up. We're always using him. We're always using Malchezaar. I'm gonna put Rogers out. Part of the reason for this is that if we need to act, it shouldn't matter, but if we need to act with his highest health thing without it killing somebody, it would go on Rogers here, so I'm just doing that. But we should just be passing and waiting for this All Realities cooldown. And now I should be able to just All Realities this turn. And then this would kill everything but Rogers. And then as soon as Ashara dies, she should come back to life and he dies. So no matter what, as long as I cast this All Realities and it activates, I should win. No matter what I do from that point. But I'm going to play this safe and pass one extra turn. And then I'm going to pass the All Realities and counter. We don't even have to kill the counter ward. I was thinking we have to kill that as well. So that's going to hit Rogers. I'll just summon a bird for the heck of it. I'm probably overthinking this, like I just explained. This should be a win already. Like no matter what I do from this point, Ashara eventually dies, and then he dies. The only way that it could possibly lose is if he kills Ashara with an Ice Shard summon, and then somehow that the Ice Shards kill Ashara after she comes back to life, and you don't have anything to like clear them out. Which is why I was thinking about like keeping Rogers alive here. So what I'm gonna do is this would kill Medivh. So I'm gonna go ahead and just buff Rogers just in case, even though I don't think it matters at all. And then that should be good. And we'll go ahead and heal Rogers as well. But yeah, I don't think any of this matters that I'm doing right now. And then we want Medivh to die. Oh, okay, we buffed her too much. Okay. Let's try that again. Let's do the same thing. I could try to get like a better setup, but... Okay, and now... should just be Ashara dies, he dies. And we can even do this from behind the counter ward. Since she has such a slow attack. We'll just not act on these 12 speed turns, which would be 10 speed if I didn't have the equipment on Malchezaar. That's that one. Your days are numbered, Ahune. Ashara is coming for you. Oh, I'm doing the thing again, so we'll pass. And I guess you would maybe still try to kill off this ward with a bird. there you go. So it works. Science has been achieved. And so, aside from this method, you also have the just kill your counter ward and have everybody insanely high hit points, which you can do with the Bird Buddy, which also lets you bring that second Artillery Strike Mercenary. But there's an additional option, which is still untested, but if you search for steel here, you'll notice that mercenaries like Bran have this treasure, which can steal stats. So if you get this to a rank where it steals at least 5 hit points, that may be a solution instead of Ashara. That treasure is also available on King Mukla, Survival Training, and King Crush, which you'll find here. And then there's also several other mercenaries that have this pillage treasure. So that would be Slither Spear, Sneed, Smite, and notably Eudora, which is also an Artillery Strike mercenary. So you could potentially hit Artillery Strike early if you whiff on Rogers, and then later, because you've killed off 2 of your mercenaries, find the Pillage, which would then be a solution to the final boss. That's more useful if you need the 2 Artillery Strikes to make it through, but you can also just use Pillage as an alternate solution. The problem with these treasure-based solutions, though, is you have to hit the treasure. So they're not great. And then there's one final treasure that would potentially work, which is on both Gul'dan and Kazakus, and it's the Siphon Power treasure. Which, again, on all these, make sure they would steal at least 5 hit points. And as I said, these are all untested. So we only know that Queen Ashara works, but since she worked, I would assume these others would work as well. So good luck on your 500 runs.